Welcome to the shadowed crossroads where reality blurs into the ethereal, and tales of the unexplained beckon the curious and the brave. Today, we venture down a path less traveled, along the mist-shrouded stretches of Route 44, a road that harbors a chilling secret, whispering through the winds of time. This is the realm of the Phantom Hitchhiker, a specter ensnared between worlds, whose presence has puzzled and petrified the hearts of those who dare traverse this lonely highway under the cloak of night. Our story begins not with the tangible, but with the whispers of the past, echoes of footsteps that belong to no one, shadows that form when light should cast none. Here, on Route 44, the fabric of reality is thin, and the veil that separates the living from the departed is but a gossamer thread, swaying in the eerie silence that precedes the storm. Listeners, I invite you to lean in closer. Let the glow of your device be the beacon in the dark as we unravel the enigma of the Phantom Hitchhiker. Who is this spectral traveler? Why does their spirit linger, hitching rides into oblivion, only to vanish into the ether? Gather your courage, for tonight, we peel back the layers of a mystery that has haunted the byways of the human psyche, a tale of unresolved destinies, of sorrow that echoes across the decades, and of the unquenchable human desire to understand the unfathomable. Prepare yourself for a journey into the heart of darkness, along a road that offers no return, through stories that chill the spine and stir the soul. Welcome, dear listeners, to the chilling saga of the Phantom Hitchhiker of Route 44. Let us begin. Beneath the blanket of night, where the stars dare not shine too brightly, lies Route 44, a stretch of road that carves its way through the heart of darkness itself. Surrounded by dense forests that whisper secrets of the old, this road has borne witness to countless tales that are spoken of in hushed tones, lest they awaken the shadows that hunger for the light. On a particularly moonless night, where the darkness seemed to swallow every beam of light, a lone cart traveled down Route 44. Its headlights pierced the night, a solitary beacon in an ocean of black. The driver, a man of rational mind and skeptic heart, found himself enveloped by the road's eerie silence, the kind of silence that weighs heavy on the soul, where every creak and whisper might just be the calling of something unseen. As the miles stretched on, a figure emerged from the mist, a silhouette so sudden and so stark against the road's emptiness that it might have been conjured from the ether itself. Cloaked in the remnants of a bygone era, the figure stood unmoving, thumb extended towards the void, a silent plea for passage. Compelled by a mixture of curiosity and an unspoken duty to aid a fellow traveler, the driver slowed, the car's brakes whispering against the night's stillness. The figure approached, their features obscured by the night, and took their place in a passenger seat their presence an unspoken weight that filled the car. The driver, attempting to pierce the veil of silence, offered words of welcome, but received no reply. The only sound was the car's steady hum and the whisper of tires against asphalt. Questions hung in the air, unanswered, as the car continued its journey down the haunted stretch of Route 44. Then, as suddenly as they had appeared, the figure vanished. In the space of a heartbeat, the passenger seat was empty, the presence that had filled the car gone, as if it had never been. The driver, heart pounding against the cage of his ribs, pulled the car to a halt, searching the rearview mirror for any sign of the mysterious traveler. But there was nothing. Only the road, the forest, and the night. The encounter would become a harbinger, the first thread in a tapestry of mystery and fear that cloaks Route 44. For those who travel this road do not simply pass from place to place. They journey through the very essence of fear and curiosity, through tales that are woven into the fabric of the night. Listeners, what was it that the driver saw? Was it merely a trick of the light, a figment of the imagination, or was it something more, a visitor from beyond the veil, seeking passage through the world of the living? This is but the beginning of our journey down Route 44, a road where the past and present are intertwined, where every turn might reveal the unimaginable. Stay with me, dear listeners, as we delve deeper into the mystery of the Phantom Hitchhiker, a tale of shadows, of whispers, and of the unexplained. In the heart of a small town, nestled at the crossroads where Route 44 carves its path through the landscape, the stories of the night begin to unfold. Here, in the warm glow of local bars and diners, under the flicker of neon signs, the residents gather, their voices mingling with the clink of grasses and the murmur of old tunes playing softly in the background. It's within these walls, where the scent of brewed coffee and fried delicacies linger, that tales of the Phantom Hitchhiker are passed from lip to ear, each telling adding another layer to the legend that shrouds the road. Did you hear about the Johnson boy? One might say, leaning closer, lowering their voice, as if the very walls might listen. Saw the hitchhiker himself, just last week. Vanished right out of his car, he did. Left nothing but a chill in the air, and a story to tell. Another chimes in, their eyes wide with the thrill of the tale. My aunt, God rest her soul, picked up that sane spirit years ago. Said she was never the same after. Felt like she was being watched every time she drove down Route 44 at night. With each recounting, the Phantom Hitchhiker weaves deeper into the fabric of the town's consciousness, a shared specter that lurks at the edge of reality, both feared and revered. A warning, perhaps, or a test of courage for those daring enough to traverse the road after sunset. Into this web of whispered tales steps a newcomer, a skeptic with no taste for superstitions or ghost stories. With a rational mind and a dismissive chuckle, they wave off the tales as nothing more than the product of overactive imaginations, the kind of thing that thrives in small towns with too much history and not enough excitement. Ghost hitchhikers, vanishing passengers. Come on, it's the 21st century, the skeptic remarks, trying a mixture of amused and offended looks from the locals. Surely there's a logical explanation. Reflections, shadows, maybe even a prankster with too much time on their hands. Bet the laughter and skepticism do little to dampen the conviction in the storytellers' voices. For them, the phantom hitchhiker is as real as the road itself, a mystery woven into the very air they breathe, a story etched into the darkness beyond the town's lights. Despite the skeptic's disbelief, the tales continue to flow, each account reinforcing the eerie legend that clings to Route 44 like fog. The skeptic listens, their amusement slowly giving way to a creeping sense of curiosity. Could there be a grain of truth in these tales? Is there something out on that road? Something unexplained? Something beyond the reach of logic and reason? As the night deepens and the stories swirl, the skeptic finds themselves standing at the threshold of belief and skepticism, caught in the pull of a story that refuses to be dismissed. For the legend of the Phantom Hitchhiker is not just a tale to be told. It's an experience that beckons, a mystery that challenges the brave to seek the truth that lies hidden in the shadows of Route 44. Under the cloak of night, where the world seems to hold its breath, and shadows dance at the edge of sight, our skeptic sets out, driven by a mix of defiance and an unspoken, nagging curiosity. The tales of the Phantom Hitchhiker, once dismissed as mere superstition, now challenge the skeptic's rationality, beckoning them onto Route 44. The road ahead stretches into darkness, a ribbon of asphalt that winds through the silent, brooding forest. It's here, on this very road, that the line between belief and disbelief will be tested. The skeptic's car, a solitary vessel in the night, hums softly as it cuts through the thickening fog. The dashboard clock glows eerily, marking the passage of time in a world that seems suspended between the known and the unknown. Every mile traveled deepens the sense of isolation, the only company being the occasional flicker of wildlife in the headlight's beam. As the skeptic navigates the bends and straightaways of Route 44, the remembered scoffs and dismissals play back in their mind, a stark contrast to the growing unease that settles in their chest. It's just a road, they remind themselves, gripping the steering wheel a little tighter, willing the feeling of dread to recede. Then, just as the skeptic begins to feel a sense of control, a figure emerges from the mist, an apparition so sudden and so out of place that it seems to defy reality. Standing by the roadside, thumb outstretched, in silent plea, is the hitchhiker, just as the tales described. The very air around them seems to chill, the night itself holding its breath, with a mixture of disbelief and a compulsion that defies explanation. The skeptic slows the car, stopping mere feet from the spectral figure. The interior light illuminates the hitchhiker's face, revealing features that are at once both hauntingly familiar and impossibly alien. Words are exchanged, the hitchhiker's voice a whisper that seems to echo from a great distance, their words lost to the night as soon as they are spoken. The skeptic, heart pounding in a rhythm that matches the throb of the night, nods toward the empty passenger seat. The hitchhiker steps in, the car door closing with a sound that seems too final, too ominous. The journey resumes, the road enfolding under the beam of the headlights, the silence in a car a tangible presence. Moments stretch into eternity, the skeptic's mind racing with questions that have no answers, every logical explanation dissolving like mist in the face of the impossible reality seated beside them. And then, as suddenly as they appeared, the hitchhiker is gone. The passenger seat, once occupied, now holds nothing but the lingering chill of their presence. The car, now feeling far too large and empty, slows to a stop. The skeptic, shaken to their core, scans the road, the forests, anywhere the hitchhiker might have gone, but finds nothing. The night, once merely a backdrop for a skeptical experiment, now looms large, filled with the weight of the unexplained, the unknown. In the aftermath, the drive home is a blur, the skeptic's mind a whirlwind of fear, apprehension, and a dawning realization that the world holds mysteries that defy rational explanation. The tales of the Phantom Hitchhiker, once mere stories, now bear the weight of truth, a truth that has turned skepticism into fear, disbelief into a haunting question. What other mysteries does the night hold on Route 44? In the wake of an encounter that transformed skepticism into a haunting curiosity, our once doubtful traveler gathers with a group of locals, their minds united by the enigma of Route 44. Together, they delve into the archives, dust-covered books, and forgotten tales, seeking answers hidden in the annals of history. The air is thick with the scent of old paper and the weight of untold stories. As the group pores over yellowed newspapers and faded photographs, each piece a fragment of the road's mysterious past, their quest leads them through the decades, tracing the lineage of Route 44 back to its inception. They uncover stories of joy and tragedy, of people whose lives intersected with the road in ways both mundane and profound. But it's a series of tragic accidents that catches their eye. incidents that seem to cluster around a particular stretch of the highway, an area known for its sudden fogs and treacherous turns. Amid these tales of sorrow and loss, one story emerges from the shadows, compelling in its tragedy and its potential connection to the Phantom Hitchhiker. It's the story of a young person, vibrant and full of life, whose journey ended one fateful night decades ago. With dreams as vast as the night sky, they set out on Route 44, only to meet a tragic end in an accident that left more questions than answers. The details are sparse, the reports fragmented, but the group pieces together a narrative that chills them to the bone. The young traveler, it seems, was known for their kindness, for offering rides to those in need, a spirit of generosity that defined their too short life. On the night of their death, they were returning from a trip, their heart full of hope and plans for the future. But fate, it seems, had other plans. As the group digs deeper, they discover accounts of a figure seen on a road near the site of the accident. Descriptions that match with tales of the Phantom Hitchhiker. Witnesses over the years speak of a figure appearing on foggy nights, thumb outstretched, seeking passage to an unknown destination. The connection between the tragic accident and the sightings of the hitchhiker begins to crystallize in the minds of the group. Could the spirit of this lost soul be wandering Route 44, caught in a loop of their final journey, unable to move on? The thought sends shivers down their spines, a mix of fear, sadness, and an overwhelming sense of empathy for the phantom whose story has been lost to time. The once skeptic, now a believer in the mysteries that haunt the night, feels a personal connection to the hitchhiker. The encounter on the road, once a source of fear, now becomes a call to action. The group resolves to uncover more, to give voice to the silent whisper of the past, and perhaps, in doing so, offer peace to the restless spirit of the road. As the chapter closes, the group's mission becomes clear: to bridge the gap between the living and the lost, to solve the mystery of the Phantom Hitchhiker not just for the sake of curiosity, but as an act of compassion. The road ahead is uncertain, fraught with emotional and supernatural challenges, but the resolve in their hearts is unyielding. They are determined to unravel the mystery of Route 44 and to bring solace to a soul suspended between worlds. As twilight descends upon Route 44, casting long shadows that merge with the encroaching darkness, our intrepid group of locals and the transformed skeptic prepare for a series of stakeouts along the storied road. Armed with cameras, voice recorders, and an unwavering resolve, they set out to pierce the veil of mystery that has long shrouded the Phantom Hitchhiker. The air is charged with anticipation and an undercurrent of fear. As they station themselves at known hotspots, the silence of the night amplifying every rustle and whisper of the wind, The stakeouts stretch over several nights, each passing hour a testament to the group's determination. They watch and wait, eyes glued to camera screens, ears straining to catch any sound out of the ordinary. The road before them is a tableau of darkness and light, illuminated only by their equipment and the occasional passing car, its driver unaware of the vigil being kept. Then, on a night when the fog rolls in like a living thing, cloaking Route 44 in a blanket of obscurity, the unexpected happens. A camera positioned near the site of a tragic accident that took the young traveler's life decades ago captures a figure. It's a fleeting image, but unmistakable, a silhouette illuminated by the soft glow of the equipment, thumb outstretched in the eternal gesture of the hitchhiker. Excitement and dread grip the group as they gather around the camera, their breaths held in collective suspense. The figure stands still, its features obscured by the fog, yet there's an undeniable sense of being watched, of a presence that reaches out from the screen. But as they attempt to review the footage, to capture this undeniable proof of the paranormal, the equipment falters. Screens flicker and die. Recordings corrupt, leaving behind nothing but static and a chilling sense of loss. The figure, so briefly glimpsed, vanishes not just from the road, but from their digital capture, as if refusing to be confined by the boundaries of technology. The malfunction is inexplicable, defying all attempts at rational explanation. Cameras and recorders that were tested and functional now lie inert, their failure timed too perfectly to the appearance of the hitchhiker. It's as though the very essence of the phantom disrupts the world of the living, a force that transcends the physical and delves into the realm of the unknown. The encounter leaves the group shaken, their skepticism further eroded by the undeniable experience of the night. They've come face to face with the unexplainable, a confirmation of the tales that have haunted Route 44 for decades. Yet, in the wake of the equipment failure, they're left with more questions than answers, a deepening mystery that wraps its fingers around their minds. This chilling development marks a turning point in their investigation. No longer can they rely solely on technology to unveil the secrets of the night. They must seek other means, delve deeper into the paranormal, and confront the possibility that some mysteries defy capture, existing instead in the fleeting moments between belief and disbelief. As dawn breaks over Route 44, the group packs up their non-functioning equipment, the weight of the night's encounter heavy upon them. They've glimpsed the other side, touched the intangible, and in doing so, have crossed an invisible threshold. The road ahead is uncertain, but their resolve is clear. They must continue their quest for answers, for understanding, and for a connection to the phantom that walks among the shadows of Route 44. In the aftermath of technology's failure to capture the essence of the Phantom Hitchhiker, the group finds themselves at a crossroads. The chilling encounter on Route 44, a fleeting glimpse into the unknown, prompts a decision that veers into uncharted territory. They turn to a medium, a bridge between the living and the spirits who linger in the shadows, hoping to communicate with the hitchhiker, to understand the motives tethering the spirit to the earthly realm. The medium, a person of quiet strength and enigmatic presence, agrees to lead a séance, a ritual to open the channels of communication with the other side. The group gathers in a circle, the air heavy with anticipation, and the flickering of candlelight casting elongated shadows against the walls. The medium instructs them to join hands, to unite their energies, and focus their intentions on reaching the hitchhiker's spirit. As the séance begins, the medium's voice weaves through the darkness, a steady cadence that seems to pulse with the heartbeat of the unseen world. The air grows colder. The candles flicker as if touched by an unseen breath, and the sense of another presence, unseen yet palpable, fills the room. "Who are you?" the medium calls into the darkness. "Why do you linger on Route 44? A silence stretches, thick with expectation, before a whisper breaks through, a voice that carries the weight of untold stories, of sorrow and longing. It's the hitchhiker, their words a fragile thread spanning the divide between worlds. "I am lost," the voice says, a sentiment that resonates in the hearts of those gathered. "I seek to return, to find peace." The medium, a conduit for the emotions and messages from the beyond, relays the hitchhiker's tale. It's a story of a journey interrupted, of a life cut tragically short on Route 44, and the unyielding desire to complete that journey. The spirit speaks of the night of the accident, of the sudden, blinding lights, and the swift embrace of darkness that followed. But it's the aftermath, the unresolved ties to the living world, that holds the hitchhiker in limbo. There are messages left unsaid, apologies unspoken, and a love that endures beyond the veil of death. The hitchhiker's spirit, bound by these unfinished threads, wanders Route 44, seeking closure, seeking a way to communicate these final, crucial words to those left behind. The emotion that flows through the medium is palpable, a shared grief and understanding that binds the group together. Tears are shed, and hearts ache for the hitchhiker, for the pain of a journey that cannot end, for a spirit that cannot find rest. The séance concludes with a promise, a vow from the group to the hitchhiker's spirit. They pledge to seek out the living connections, to deliver the messages that might free the spirit from its earthly bonds. It's a task that carries the weight of a soul's peace, a mission that transcends the boundaries of the known world. As the candles are extinguished, and a group emerges from the circle, they carry with them a profound sense of purpose. The encounter with the hitchhiker's spirit, though fraught with fear and the unknown, has ignited a determination to resolve the mystery of Route 44, to offer solace to a soul caught between worlds. The night of the séance marks a turning point, a step closer to understanding, and perhaps to the resolution of the Phantom Hitchhiker's eternal journey. The road ahead is fraught with challenges, both emotional and supernatural. But the group is resolute. They will seek the answers, bridge the gap between the living and the dead, and strive to bring peace to a spirit that has wandered too long in the shadows of Route 44. In the quiet hours before dawn, when the world lies suspended between night and day, the group, guided by the medium, embarks on a journey of resolution on Route 44. They carry with them the weight of a spirit's sorrow, the hope of bringing peace to the restless hitchhiker who has wandered this road for decades. Their vehicle, a beacon of light in the pre-dawn darkness, is more than just transportation. It's a vessel for closure, a bridge between the temporal and the eternal. As they drive, the medium's voice cuts through the silence, offering words of comfort and guidance to the unseen passenger they seek to help. "We are here to help you find peace," they say, their words a gentle invocation to the spirit of the hitchhiker. The air within the car shifts, grows colder, a sign that they are not alone in their journey. The road unfurls beneath them, a familiar path now imbued with a purpose that transcends the ordinary. The medium instructs the driver to slow as they approach the stretch of road where the tragic accident occurred, the site that has anchored the hitchhiker's spirit to this world. Here, they stop, the engines idle, a soft murmur in the stillness. "Let us help you complete your journey." The medium whispers into the darkness, an offer of passage to the spirit that has for so long sought to return, to communicate, to find rest. A silence envelops them, profound and expectant, as if the night itself is holding its breath. Then, a presence, felt rather than seen, fills the vehicle. It's a sensation of profound sadness mixed with hope, the hitchhiker's spirit accepting their offer. The drive resumes, a final ride that symbolizes the journey the hitchhiker cannot complete alone. The medium, serving as the conduit, begins to relay messages of love and forgiveness, the unsaid words the spirit needs to deliver to find peace. The emotional weight of these messages fills the car, a cathartic release for a soul burdened by unfinished business. As they near the end of Route 44, the first light of dawn begins to touch the sky, painting the world in hues of gold and pink. It's at this moment, surrounded by the beauty of a new day, that the supernatural events reach their climax. The temperature in a car returns to normal. The heavy air of presence lifts, and a sense of peace descends upon the group. The medium, tears in their eyes, announces the journey is complete. The hitchhiker's spirit, having delivered its messages through the veil, is no longer bound to the road. A series of light anomalies, orbs, and streaks of inexplicable light appear briefly around the car, a visual farewell from the spirit as it moves on from the earthly realm. The group, Witnesses to this profound transition feel a mix of relief, awe, and sadness. They have helped a lost soul find its way, provided the closure necessary for it to move on. The presence that once haunted Route 44, seeking rides that could never end, has faded, leaving behind the story of compassion, understanding, and the power of unresolved spirits to touch the living. As they make their way back, the road behind them is just a road once more, its mystery resolved, its phantom hitchhiker at peace. The group carries with them the memory of this night, a testament to their journey beyond the veil, a reminder that sometimes the most haunting mysteries have the most human solutions. This chapter closes not with an end, but with a beginning, the dawn of a day free from the sorrow that once shadowed Route 44, a reminder of the light that awaits us all, beyond the darkness, beyond the journey, in the peace that comes with final farewells. As the dawn of understanding breaks over the horizon of skepticism, our journey alongside Route 44 reaches its poignant conclusion. The skeptic, once cloaked in the armor of disbelief, now stands transformed by the events that unfolded under the shroud of night. This transformation, a metamorphosis from doubt to belief, has compelled them to document the tale, to ensure that the story of the Phantom Hitchhiker does not fade into the obscurity of forgotten lore, but endures as a testament to the mysteries that bridge the worlds of the living and the departed. With meticulous detail, the skeptic-turned-believer records each step of the journey, from the initial, chilling encounter to the emotional seance that revealed the hitchhiker's lingering ties to the earthly realm. They write of the final ride, a journey of resolution and peace, and the supernatural events that marked the spirit's departure from Route 44. This account, a blend of personal testimony and collective experience, is shared not just as a chronicle of events, but as a reflection on the profound impact of confronting the unknown. Route 44, the once ominous stretch of road that served as the backdrop for this tale, now lies quieter. The legend of the Phantom Hitchhiker, while no longer a nightly occurrence, persists in the collective memory of the town and its visitors. It serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the unresolved spirits that may walk alongside us, and the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil of our understanding. The road itself, bathed in the light of day, seems ordinary, its asphalt and markings no different from any other highway. But for those who know the story, who have felt the chill of the night and witnessed the inexplicable, Route 44 will forever be a symbol of the journey between skepticism and belief, of the human desire to understand the unknown. The skeptic, through their writings, invites others to explore the depths of their own beliefs, to question the nature of reality, and to remain open to the possibilities that exist beyond the limits of our perception. The story of the Phantom Hitchhiker, now immortalized in the annals of local legend and beyond, stands as a bridge between worlds, a narrative that connects the past with the present, the seen with the unseen. Route 44 today is more than just a road. It's a landmark of curiosity, a place where the veil between worlds is thin, and the stories of the past linger in the whispers of the wind. Travelers who pass through are reminded of the mysteries that defy explanation, of the spirits that may still seek passage, and of the enduring power of tales that capture the human experience at its most mysterious. In the end, the legacy of the Phantom Hitchhiker and the journey of the skeptic serve as a beacon for those who seek to explore the boundaries of the known world, to confront their fears, and to embrace the ambiguity that lies at the heart of existence. It's a story that continues to inspire, to challenge, and to remind us all of the mysteries that await just beyond the next bend in a road. As our journey down the shadowed path of Route 44 comes to a close, we find ourselves at the crossroads of mystery and understanding, where tales of the Phantom Hitchhiker linger like the morning mist. Through the eyes of the skeptic-turned-believer, we've traversed a landscape where the veil between worlds is thin, where spirits walk in the twilight, and where the search for closure can lead to unexpected revelations. The legend of the Phantom Hitchhiker of Route 44, a narrative woven from the threads of fear, curiosity, and compassion, reminds us that there are mysteries in this world that defy rational explanation. It teaches us that belief is not merely the acceptance of what we see, but the willingness to understand what we cannot. The road has been a teacher, a guide into the heart of the unknown, revealing that sometimes the journey towards understanding requires us to confront our deepest fears. As this story concludes, and the echoes of our tale fade into the silence, let us carry forward the lessons learned under the cover of night on Route 44. Let us remember the importance of empathy, the power of the unseen, and the eternal quest for knowledge and peace. The road continues on, as do the stories that dwell in the shadows, waiting for the next traveler willing to explore the mysteries that lie beyond the veil. Thank you, dear listeners, for joining us on this journey into the unknown. May the roads you travel be safe, and may the stories you encounter along the way illuminate the darkness with a light of understanding. Until we meet again, keep the spirit of curiosity alive, and remember, the next time you pass a lone figure on the side of the road, you may have just crossed paths with a legend. This has been the story of the Phantom Hitchhiker of Route 44. Farewell, until our paths cross again in the realm of the unexplained and the unseen.